Hi, everyone. So, what I want to talk about today is, well, for one, I want to get back into what I was doing before, and that's to guide people to healing. And however may it resonate with you or not. If you can get something from this, then be sure to let me know. Give me a like, comment down below. Let me know, okay? I need to know. So, the importance of self empowerment. Now, you may not think that it is very important, or maybe you are just stuck in a loop of not giving to yourself, or maybe you don't even know that you're not giving to yourself. Maybe it's just not apparent because you're very used to what you're used to, and maybe you haven't even learned it, and that's fine. Everyone starts somewhere. So getting into it, I especially right now when a lot of there's multiple planets right now going in retrograde at the same time. And now during any retrograde, it is always a time to look back and reflect where things, not necessarily look back, but things from the past may resurface. So old feelings, old thoughts, same situations with different people. So it is basically, there we get so caught up in the past that we don't live in the present, and that is the most important thing to do, is to live in the moment, in the now, in the present, which is extremely hard to do for anyone, I feel. It is definitely a game changer. It's life changing though. So for example, you may be stuck on what happened yesterday or in the past, or something from the past is literally blocking you from being who you could possibly be at this point in time. And that's where self-empowerment comes from. You may be in an altercation currently at this moment with someone that you truly love. You could be in the middle of a big school exam that you just don't know if you can handle it. You could be going through court things at the moment and you're stressing. It's work, anything that you want, anything that could possibly be going on in your life at this time. Really focusing on the here and now of what's going on is of utmost degree important. If possible, the way to do this is to literally step aside from what is currently going on. So you are going to ignore every factor that's going on around you at this very, very moment. And you are going to think of yourself. Think of yourself in this matter. Not what am I doing wrong? Not what am I repeating that's ruining things now? Not how things are going to end up if I don't do this the right way. What you're going to think of is, how can I give myself enough power currently to detach from this situation at this current moment so I can uplift my spirits enough and get where I need to be? Okay, so you detach yourself from the situation completely and think of just yourself there at that moment. You don't think of who said what to you in the past. You don't think of what you said to this person. You don't think about where you went wrong. I had made a mistake recently to where, it really altered my future. Ultimately, there's nothing that we can do about the past. So regardless of the situation, life is always ever changing. And that's the one constant that we have. People are going to grow. People are not going to be the same. New things are going to happen, and we have to allow it. We have to allow that change. And thinking of ourselves as our being at that moment in the mess of all things. You think of yourself as you are now. I give myself the power. I want to take it back. Okay? So you can't control anything outside of you. So you can only control your own reactions to things. You can control only your well-being. You cannot control the well-being of others. You cannot control what they do. You cannot control the experiences they have from this. If they are hurt, if they are mad, if they feel like they had been taken advantage of. And that's the same that goes for you. No one can alter your state of experience, okay? Now, when we move from the past, our past does not define us. We are who we are at this very moment. Say, for example, you used to be a cheater, or you used to do drugs, or you used to be too friendly and too kind to a fault, right? It doesn't matter. Whoever you are at this very moment is who you are. Okay, we're still thinking about us in this very moment. For example, someone who had gone to jail for the first time, they got into a car accident or something. I'm just throwing this as an example. They learn their lesson and they don't do it again. They don't drive crazily, or they don't drink and drive. They don't do whatever they had done before. So they learn, they adapt, and they roll with the punches. They allow themselves to grow from it. But they don't want to think about messing up back then, because that's only going to block them from who they are currently being and them in the future. So, for example, someone who was born a woman, and with our day and technology today, you can be whoever you want to be. They change their name, for example, and they become whoever they want to be, right? They become X, okay? Like X, Y, and Z. We're using variables. Okay, so they don't want to be considered a woman anymore. They want to be X. So they're going to expect you to look at them and see them as who they are today. So that's exactly how it goes with even relationships and just connections with human beings. Because when we are born into this world, right, we are born with what we know. We are born with the skills to be able to adapt. We are born with the DNA, the possibility to learn, we are born with intuition. We are born as human beings. So we have the capability to create ourselves as who we want and who we are, and be able to tackle whatever way we may need to tackle, right? So, if you were to take yourself right now in this instance, say, for example, you are in a very bad fight with your significant other, for example, right now, and you're upset about what they had done, said in the past. They're upset about the same thing. You're going to take yourself out of that situation, and if you have to, pray, give yourself the power to take back your own power, okay? You're going to remember, even if this may come off as rude to that person, you can only give from your cup if it's overflowing, right? Number one, you cannot control the past. You are not in the past anymore. So the past ultimately does not matter. As shitty as it may seem, even if we're hurt by what had happened in the past, there is nothing ultimately that we can physically do to go back to it or change it or anything of the sort. So, as we are not that person that we were then, not even 5 minutes ago, we are who we are at this very moment. Time being irrelevant. We can change, we can adapt. We are able to do that. So, set aside all arguments, all conflict, and all hate towards others or yourself, and realize that you are you as you are now. And you are doing the very best you can. So, realize that you have to be responsible for your own well-being. And that's where self-empowerment comes from. You have to take care of your very self before you can ever take care of another, or ever accuse someone of something, or ever judge someone. You have to take care of yourself first. If you don't feel right in your mind at that moment and believe that you can accomplish what you are here to do and release past, then you are not going to be able to live in the present. So, given that we have the capability to change at any given moment, given that we accept our responsibility for our own well-being and our own happiness, blocking everyone out, right? Everything that they've ever said, everything that they've ever done, everything that we've done or said, and realize that you are in charge of your own experience. You can make it. Now, if someone's really upset that you said something, well, it's going to sound rude, but ultimately that is not your problem. It is not your problem. And you can say that. Say, you are responsible for your own well-being. That is not my problem. And if they don't respect that boundary that you put up for your well-being, so you are able to be there for others because you are there for yourself first, then that is the time where you have to separate. Well, you are going to have to release yourself from me because I am releasing myself from you. And that goes for family, that goes for coworkers, that goes for relationships, because you got to think life is ever changing. So we don't get to choose how long we are in people's lives. We are given the tools like our skill sets, our intuition, our voice, connections, right? Because humans need connections. Those are tools given to us to experience this life. But they are never a long-lasting thing. I mean, we know this growing up. We deal with death all the time. We are not here forever. This is our time to really step it up. And the first place you step up is by self-empowerment, where you specifically are now, because you only have control of yourself. Okay. So even if they're so upset at you, right? That is not your problem. It is to get those boundaries out there first and foremost is the very first step to having a possibility to come back together afterwards and reconnecting, or separating completely, even if it's with family, and knowing your self-worth to find whatever you're looking for that is better and for your highest existence. Okay. So setting those boundaries, even if it coming from myself, where I always had wanted to be nice and kind and please everyone. I thought that was good. Ultimately, it backfired because I wasn't standing up for myself. I was standing up for other people and their feelings. So you have to stand up for yourself, even if it seems terrible, because in the end, you are going to see that it is not terrible. You cannot be there for someone else if you are not there for yourself, no matter what. So you remove them. And if they accept that boundary from you, then that's taking you to that next step, okay? That next step of deciding, well, hey, look, I am upset about what happened in the past. I am upset about how this played out. I am taken aback by what you did, right? This affected me. I reacted this way. So we have to remember that is in the past. It is in the past. There's nothing we can do about it. Of course, we can apologize. We can take into consideration how you are currently at this moment feeling, what you currently want to do with the situation. But to find common ground and to find where we are going in with this right now and into the future, we have to decide if it is worth our happiness and self-love and self-empowerment and self-right. Then it goes into what you allow. You know, a lot of this retrograde stuff is stuff coming back from the past of what you may or may not have allowed in your life. Well, did you allow that person to act that way because you did not stand up for yourself? Well, this is the ultimate result. But it can be fixed. It can be fixed. It literally can be fixed with the state of mind you are in. It can. And you know what? If it cannot be fixed, then that is an experience that life gave you. You enjoyed that time. Maybe you didn't enjoy that time. Maybe you enjoyed it in the beginning. Maybe you'll never see this person again. But that is okay because life is ever changing. And we have to look at ourselves in the moment. Sure, you may be hurt. Sure, you may be happy that you found something for yourself. Sure, you got out of something. Who knows? No matter the emotion you're getting from it, this is you as you are right now. You're learning, you're growing. You're learning to give, you're giving, you're accepting, you're creating boundaries, you're dreaming and creating. Everything starts within self. The things that are done to us in the past, it's like, it's not happening. Of course, it's happening to us, but it is not out of pure evil to send to us. It is for us to learn, right? We don't own human beings. We are no one's property. No one can control us as human beings, as our own self. No one can control our soul, our mind. That is all self-induced. It is what we allow. Oh, there's a hair on me. Okay, so it is what we allow in our lives. If I allow you to tell me when I can say something or when I can feel something, then you know what? I'm doing that to myself. I'm allowing external forces out of my own being to penetrate my thought process and how I feel and how I react. That's why it's so important to be so sure of yourself and who you are, and listen to yourself and give yourself that extra time if you have to step away for a moment and recollect. Take a deep breath. Get a hold of your own being. Who the fuck are you, right? Who are you? Who am I? Why is this happening? Why am I letting this happen? Okay, no, it's how am I going to start feeling like myself again? What am I going to do to make sure that I choose for myself? Well, I'm going to start saying, I want my power back. Yes, I may be feeling like I'm running around in circles. I'm stressed the hell out. I don't know what to do with this situation, but guess what? I'm going to take myself out of the equation and sit with myself. Say, well, what do I want? Okay, well, I want to be happy. I don't want to be upset. I don't want to cry. I don't want to fight. I don't want to care about your opinion. I mean, if I did something wrong to you in the past, there's nothing I can do, but I can try and fix that by fixing myself. I can take myself out of the existence of what I am experiencing right now and know that it all derives from what I am doing. I could have been whoever in the past. Who am I right now, and what am I going to do to make sure that my future includes my happiness first? I don't care. I care what you're going through, but I don't care if what you're going through ultimately changes my perspective of myself. That's it. I very much care what you're going through. But how can I be there for you if I'm not there for myself first? No one can do it. How can I be there for you if I am not here in the present moment? And I'm being blocked by my own thoughts of past, or being disillusioned by my thoughts of future. This is me. And I hope this helps in any way possible for you. I almost got caught in that little drift of retrograde back and forth behavior, where I saw a remnants of my old I had seen a remnants of my old self in my current self. And that's not, I'm just not into that anymore. So I was wondering, well, what am I doing to allow that? Well, I'm not standing up for myself. I am allowing the feelings of others to integrate and obscure my mindset. And how am I going to make this better? Well, what are the basics? What do I know? Well, I know I am responsible for my own well-being. I know that I can apologize in parts that I am able to apologize in, because, maybe what I did was not good, or, it was, or whatever. And last but not least, what I'm going to do to make sure my spirits stay lifted, and how I can continue to be who I am and then become who I want to be. It doesn't matter. These people will come and go, and you have to expect that first and foremost. You can't hold on to something that ultimately is not yours to hold on to. You can't hold on to feelings of who you aren't anymore and allow that to be you now, because you're not your wounds, you're not your past, but it will shape you into who you are at this very moment. So before I talk your guys' ear off, I do have to get going. Please let me know if this resonates, helps you, anything of the sort. I love you guys so, so much. I am going to try and do a live later with all the signs and just take care of that before I grab my kids later on tonight. And yeah, I hope you guys have a really good day, and I love you very much. Okay, bye.